Alright, everybody, welcome back. It's your multi-dimensional brother, Set. SUMARI Dark Arts, once again. 70, what is this? I guess a 77 video? Maybe. So, as you all can see, the name has fluctuated in and out for a couple of videos. Well, not really. I mean, I think pretty much when I started out, it was like Seth SUMARI Dark Arts. And like I thought the title was too long, and then after like the 50th video or something, then I broke it down to just SUMARI Dark Arts. And now the videos have gone back to Set Dark Arts. But you know, we've talked about this many times that, let me just fix this camera a bit, I'm getting a glare. Yeah. We talked about this many times about how names are just, they're just names, you know, basically. They're just names, and we have to use names, unfortunately, in this reality, as a means of identification. So I have a, you know, people who know me on Facebook, they've seen my name, they know what my name is, and I've said it in other videos, but you know, people seem pretty, you know, people want to call me Seth. A lot of people said, well, I know your name, but I feel more relaxed calling you Seth. And I figured, well, you know what, I'm just gonna roll with that then, man. You know, I have a problem with that. I put the name to Set because if you go back to Kemet, you know, in the Egyptian times, if you want to call it Kemet, whichever pleases you, you had the Egyptian gods. And Set or Seth or Setesh and all these, a lot of variations on that name for the Egyptian god Seth. I decided to go with the more traditional one and just put it as Set because, you know, one reason that I feared was I didn't want people to go around and say, well, he's just, you know, he's calling himself SUMARI and now he's ripping off the Seth material and he's talking about this and that. It is what it is, man. You know, I mean, I'm not trying, I stated in my very earliest videos that I'm not trying to impersonate, copy, replicate. Simply, I'm just a part of this family of consciousness. And when I first originally put these videos out, I put the word Seth in there. It was like Seth Dark Arts. No, actually, yeah, it was Seth Dark Arts in the beginning. And then later came Seth SUMARI Dark Arts. And there's a method to the madness, you know, there's a reason why I choose these names. And I talked about this is going way back now to earlier videos, but I've talked about all this before, how names have power, you know. And we're on the 77th video now, and we're up to like, I think, I can't remember, it's like 435 of our brothers and sisters have joined us. But this is over the course of 3 years. I mean, you can look at the videos now and you can see that pretty much, yeah, I have about, I can't remember, I think it's like 435 subscribers, something like that. But there's like a stable 150 that follow the videos, because like you can look at the numbers. Like if you look at the numbers of the videos, the last couple of videos, you can see like a steady flow, which is about 150 maybe. So that's like 150 of our family members out there who just, you know, continuously, and thank you for the support, guys. You know, I really like it and enjoy it. But back to these names, right? So it's like names have power. So when I originally started, I was like, you know, I want this information to get out there. I feel a strong connection to it. It is what I am. So I'm gonna go with the name Seth Dark Arts. And that's gonna pull in people who are already in this realm of thinking, of the way I was thinking, and the information I was working with. And it worked, because most of the people who watch me, either they are a part of it, they already know the information, or they don't know the information, but they already have those experiences that they're working with. So I was like, okay, that works. Then as time progressed and I became more involved in my studies and my practices and training and all this stuff, and things started to happen. I grew over the past couple of years. You guys have grown too. We all have grown. You know, we're all still growing. It's a non-stop process, a continuous process. But, you know, the SUMARI family reached out to me, and that was a whole nother level when I came to that realization. So I said, well, let me put that in the title. And now I'm trying to pull in people who have gone into that information. And I left Dark Arts in, you know, because at the end of the day, we're still working with the dark arts. Now, the dark arts, what does this mean? You know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people, they look at my videos and they go, oh, he's calling himself Set SUMARI dark art. This is some Luciferian stuff. He's black magic. He's the devil and all that. But I'm going to just break it down right now. The dark arts simply means the unseen arts that we do in the dark. No, but I gotta joke around, man. I got some snot coming out my nose and stuff. I got excited. But yeah, if you really think about it, right? Like, what are the dark arts? I mean, if you want to take the dark arts as meaning black magic, I mean, once again, we're working with names. Names are just names for identification. I mean, if you want to talk about working with unseen forces, then all right, you want to call it dark arts. If that feels more powerful for you, you use that. If, you know, for me, the dark arts simply means, you know, the unseen arts, the dream arts, science, and all these other things that we don't really know about much anymore. Well, most people don't. I do. And what we're going to go with this is like, yeah, so I left that in the title because I want to keep that in there, the dark arts. You know, and I could put, you know, Set SUMARI, dream arts, but I'm targeting specific types of people, you know. Like, when I use certain names, right, it's like the people who come to the channel and actually take the time, and I appreciate each and every one of you who take the time to sit down and listen to me rant and rave for like 40 minutes or an hour. You're very special because you didn't get turned away by, oh, you saw the word dark arts, this means it's something evil, and, you know, you click the channel off. So, and this is how it's been through history. You know, you go back to more ancient times that are not really ancient times because they're still happening right now. But if you know, just for argument's sake, you go to these ancient times, right? Things were hidden in broad daylight, or things were hidden behind things with other meanings to reject, you know, the usual people who follow the status quo. You talk about secret societies and things like that. A lot of times, a lot of information was put in broad daylight, but hidden. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is hidden within plain sight. So, say for example, you would have a book, right? A normal person, now an adept, a skilled magi, someone who was deep with a deep understanding of the unseen forces, they will come along and pick up a book. And they will put information in this book. The average Joe will come along, pick up the book, see nothing. They would just see whatever this magi put forth and wanted the usual people to come by. So you say, Joe Blow, come pick up the book. And, oh, what is this? All right, this is just a book on, you know, science or whatever, you know. Or this is just some fantasy crap. This is just a fairy tale. And they'll throw the book down and keep it moving. But a skilled adept will come, right? And he or she, or it, would pick up the book and go, I see where this is going. I see where this information is leading to. And this applies to everything. Like, I've talked in the past about movies, how when you watch films, there's two types of people who watch films. You have people who watch the film and just are wooed by the CG, the special effects, the action, slow-mo, bullet time, all this stuff. And they go, wow, this is amazing. And you get the other individual who comes and watches the same film, and they go, there's a deep message behind this. Yes, I understand that. Yes, what he or she is doing, this is exactly how it's done. This is how you break the fifth wall. This is how you break into the other dimensions. This is what it's like to be a fifth multi-dimensional being, or multi-dimensional being from other realities, because I've experienced that. I am that multi-dimensional being. And they understand, you know, and we understand. So, going back to names, right, because I don't want to veer away from them. I'm trying to keep on this name thing. And I got a few minutes, right, because I got to start class soon. But going back to names, why have I chosen these names? Because certain people will be pulled by certain names. Names have power, man. And it's like, you look, take for example the Seth material, right? Now, there's been a lot of material, channeled, or whatever you want to call it, that's out there. And some names just have power, some names don't. For example, you have like, I think it's Esther Hicks. If I'm messing it up, please forgive me. But I believe it's this psychic channel medium, Esther Hicks. You have the Abraham material or something like that. And it's like, for me, that name has no connection. So it's like, this information is old. I think the Abraham material came out in the 60s, I believe, probably around the same time or right after the Seth material. But the name Abraham has too many religious connotations to most people. So they'll go, Abraham material, and it might connect to them. They might go, oh yes, Abraham, this sounds biblical, and they might pick that up. The name Seth, they'll go, oh, I don't know, wasn't Seth the god of darkness and of evil? Oh, I can't get into that. This is some Luciferian stuff. This is going to be evil. And they get rejected. But see, the skilled one, the skilled individual will come by, completely look past the name and pick it up and go, they'll look at the information and they say, what is going on in this book? Why would this person choose this name? Once you start going into the book, it takes you deeper, and you realize that it's actually not a book at all. It's something completely different. This is a force of nature, a force of power, written in, script that unlocks your consciousness and that evolves over time. And, I could say this, working with the Seth material, right? And a lot of other books, not just the Seth material, but a lot of other ancient manuscripts and texts, you can read the same thing on this 100 times, right? That's why I say, like, certain texts, if you look at them, this is how you know when a text has power, right? There are a lot of books out there, a lot of self-help books, karma, law of attraction, all this stuff. But a lot of those books, you pick them up, you read them once, and you go, okay, and you throw them down. The end. How you know a book is the actual power and not just a book is when you read the book, it starts opening doors within your mind. You start having different visions and thoughts during the day. It starts affecting your dreams. It starts affecting you on a very deep, fundamental level. And then as you start to grow, here's the good part now. As you start to grow, the information within this so-called book starts to change. So you go, wait a minute. I've read this book 100 times. I don't remember seeing this in this chapter. I don't remember seeing that. Well, it starts to manifest in a different way. And this is true knowledge. You can read as many times as you read it, and as you grow, the information starts to grow with you. And it's an entity of itself. So it's like you're growing, but the information is also growing. And it's growing along with you. Another person comes along who doesn't know about any of this. They pick it up. They might be exactly when you started with the book. Or they might get something else. So this is why this is all important, the information. When you come into this stuff, you'll say, see, people are coming in. But like, as a book starts to change, as you start changing and growing, the information starts to change. So it's like, every time you read something, no matter how many times you read it, once you've grown to a new point in your life, that material is going to grow also, and it's going to have a different understanding. And there's things that I've read thousands of times in like certain books, like the Seth material and other things like that. And for me, it's like I read it now, and it's like it's still growing, man. It's still. I see things that had no connection to me, say, a few years ago, and now I go, oh yeah, now I know what this is talking about, because it's a non-stop process, and the information continues to grow. And even once you die and leave physical reality, you continue with it, and you just keep going on. But like I said, this is a short video. I didn't know where I was going with this, but I guess it's going to be about knowledge and names, right? Another point. Excuse me, I got people talking Japanese. But one more point, right? So with these names, right, it's like the name Abraham has no connection to some people. The name Seth might have no connection. But the reason I'm going with the name Seth is because if you look at history, now you could go do the research yourself and look it up. Don't be lazy. But Seth, or Set, as he was known during the days of Kemet, was the first true original rebel. Well, there's probably others. There's always others. But as far as our timeline goes in Egyptian history, Set was one of the originals. And you could look up his story, but to super summarize his story, he had a duty to fight, Apep or Pafi, this serpent-like deity that was trying to destroy the world. He did this every day on the sun barge, and At some point, he got tired of being a lackey. Nobody else respected him. He basically said, fuck it, I'm going to take over and do my own thing. You know, during the days of KEMET, a lot of they weren't big on like individuality. You know, they had a pretty set like lifestyle. This is the way things were. So anyone who was veering in different directions, as a, you know, more bisexuality or like anything that was outside the norm, they were seen as weird. But at the same time, they feared and respected him. So, you know, was Set a bad person? Or was he just misunderstood? Or was it a person at all? Now, that's another video that I'm going to have to get into, because I don't have time to get into it now, but we will at some other day in time. But long story short, I like that name, Set, or Seth, pronunciation, whatever. But yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it up there, because it symbolizes a lot of things. And I know I've been, I don't care about symbolism, but we still work within the realm of symbolism. And it does have a representation, you know. Set can mean many things. It can mean nothing. That's one thing. It could mean nothing. It could be just a sound. It could mean a personal connection to the Seth material. It could also be a connection to the ancient Egyptian god Set. Was this Seth material by Seth, written by Seth? Was that Seth the actual Egyptian god Set, coming through with a different, you know, adapting itself to the times? Most individuals won't know, but you can know the answer for yourself if you just meditate and go within yourself, and you can find an answer. And that's what it's all about. That's what this journey is about. It's finding your own answers. Not about what I'm saying. It's not about what anyone else is saying. Not about what a book is saying. You know, information is just information. You read it, you absorb it, and if it applies to you, if you feel a connection to it, it takes you further into what you want to do. But for the sake of my videos, I'll be using that name Set. I'm going to go by that name because it kind of puts me in like a frame of mind of what I have to be focused on, you know. And it keeps the information open to other people. You know, if I just put it out there and say, all right, this is going to be, you know, Toro Dark Arts from now on. I mean, it's nice if I threw my name out there, but at the same time, this information is not really about me. It's about you, and it's about everyone else. So I don't want to just, you know, pull it into where it's just focusing on me. So the name Set, anyone could be Set. We all have our own Set, or Seth, or Satesh, or whatever. We all have these things within us, within our own makeup and our consciousness. So I'll leave it as Set, and that way you could recognize a Set in me, and I recognize a Set within you, and a SUMARI within you, and besides all that, the multi-dimensional being within yourselves. But yeah, that's where we're gonna go, man. So gotta sign out soon, man. It's your multi-dimensional brother Set, kicking it off. Names have power. I gotta make another video about this, because like I gotta finish this, and I apologize, but I know that this subject, it goes way deeper than just 20 minutes of talking about names have power, because it's not actually even a name. I'm gonna leave you guys on this, right? Check it out. Meditate on this. It's not about the names having the power. It's not about even the spelling of the names. It's about the sound of the word, the sound that you're making. Why is it that when some people see the name Set, or Yahweh, or Jehovah, or Jesus, or God, or Buddha, or Krishna, it ignites something within them? It triggers something within their consciousness. They have a certain feeling of energy, pride, or even a sense of membership. Why is that? Because it's all connected to deeper things within their own consciousness and unseen multidimensional forces of reality. But yeah. I'm gonna have to go more deep into this, but what names trigger you? Write in the comments, you know. What names give you power? For me, you know, SUMARI gives me power. My own name gives me power. Toro, that gives me power. You know, is your name your family, your entity name? You know, it's another thing. You know, you gotta get into entity names, man. You know, for me, Toro is not just my family name, it's also my entity. It's a lot of things out there, but you know, do you feel any connection to the word? Then it sounds Set or Seth. Does that trigger anything within you? Things to think about. Gotta get out of here, but we'll touch back on it. And SUMARI to everybody out there. It's your brother Set. Take care.